Hello, my name is Mrs. Markey. If your schedule indicates that you should have this class with Miss Holderreed, you are in luck. Because I am the artist formerly known as Miss Holderreed, I just happened to get married this summer, so you're in the right place.
Here's a couple pictures of my wedding in case you wanted to see them, or in case you didn't. And just for reference sake, my last name is Markey, like marker, not Marchie. Just so you know.
We're going to get down to business in a second, but before that, I just want to acknowledge that we're going to have a challenging year on many different levels. I don't know how the situation in our country has affected you thus far, but I do want to say I'm incredibly sorry that this is how you have to enter high school. And I really hurt for anybody who has had a family member or friend impacted by this virus in any way, whether that's health or work. This is a tough time, and I'm sure some of you are struggling with it. That being said, I really can't know what's going on with you when I can't meet with you in person. So I want to take some time for us to get to know one another. I will be learning more about you through an assignment that we will discuss later on, but I want to tell you a bit about myself so you'll know who's on the other side of the screen. This is my fourth year teaching at LaVille. I attended high school here. When I was in school, I was in cheerleading, drama, and madrigals.
I don't know how I forgot to mention 4-H because every summer was filled with 4-H for me, but I was also a 10-year 4-H member as well. I did cheerleading for 4 years. My senior year, we won sectionals. Mr. Edison took us there, and it was an amazing time. I did madrigals for 4 years. They still have that purple dress somewhere, so if you're wearing it, holla at your girl because we're twinsies. And obviously with madrigals, I participated in vocal jazz second semester. And as far as drama club, I did that for 3 years. I have like no pictures of this, so this is the best I've got. Here you go.
I still enjoy singing. My husband and I have a baby grand piano, and we like to jam together. Recently, we've been tinkering with one of the King George songs from Hamilton. Our favorite song to perform together is Drops of Jupiter. I really like most types of music. Blinding Lights is currently really stuck in my head, trying to get that one out. I'm sure it's not going to come as a surprise that I enjoy reading. My favorite book is currently A Man Called Ove. This book has actually been optioned to be a movie, and Tom Hanks is set to produce it and star in it. He's my favorite actor, so that would be amazing for one of my favorite books. I'm currently reading a book called Ella Minnow P, and it's a story about a society that keeps banning different letters of the alphabet. So the book stops using these letters when they are banned in the society, and it's really interesting. The author had to work really hard to make it happen. Obviously, I like reading, but I also like one of my hobbies is finding a good deal. I love H&M, I like antique stores. I used to really like Black Friday. It's probably not happening this year, but in my pursuit of good deals, I started doing Instagram giveaways, and I won a lot of fun things on Instagram. I won all the signs for my wedding. I won my cake stand. I won a gift card to get my flowers for free and my earrings. So I'm pretty big on finding a good deal. So if you need some tips, just let me know. Now that you know a little bit about me, let's talk about my class. There are 3 major things I'd like you to know for my class. Late work communication, my plagiarism policy, and just kind of a reiteration of school rules. So we're obviously in some weird circumstances right now. We can't communicate as easily. So if you're struggling on something, tell me. In person, I could walk by. I might notice, oh, as you're working on this assignment, you look a little stumped or you're not doing much. It's easier for me to tell. But we don't really have that advantage digitally, so you're going to have to communicate with me, and I'll be communicating with you. Check your email regularly. I'd highly recommend adjusting your Canvas notification preferences. I don't know about you, when I first had Canvas, I was getting emails all the time about all these different classes and people, and it can be overwhelming. So I will include some information on how you can adjust those preferences in the guides and tutorials module on Canvas. So information where you can reach out to me, as well as tutorials and basic skills you'll need, will be in that module. Take advantage of that. There's going to be a lot of useful info, and if you still have a question after looking at that module, let me know. If you're having a tech issue, however, I cannot fix that. So if you're having a problem with Google Docs, accessing a certain website, Canvas, you need to contact the tech help desk, and I'll have information on how you can contact them there as well. Small update for you, Canvas is not fully operational yet, so I do want to remind everybody that before going to Canvas, you can check that e-learning hub. I'm not sure when Canvas classes will be published for us. I'm hoping it will be ready by the time you're seeing this video, but if not, take a look at that e-learning hub where you go for all your e-learning assignments, and there will be links there just the same as they would be in a regular Canvas announcement. So, in line with our need for communication, this is very important when it comes to late work. This is a big problem with last year's e-learning, so I wanted to address it just to let you know what you need to do and what I'm going to do for you. So, this is and has been my policy regarding late work. If you submit something to Canvas after it is due, or any other platform after it is due, you need to send me an email listing the assignment that you have completed. If you tell me you completed something but it's not there, I will send you back an email with a screenshot showing you that it has not been received. Canvas sends me a lot of notifications when I have them on, so I have turned a lot of those off. And the best way to get a hold of me about late work is email. The only way to get a hold of me about late work is email. All right, let's talk about plagiarism. This is another tough one to talk about. This was a big problem with online learning last year. If you are sharing answers with another student, you will both get a 0. I gave out 15 zeros on one assignment last year. I would not like to do that again. Please don't tell me you worked on it together. Unless I tell you that an assignment is a group assignment, please work on it independently. If your answers are very similar but just a few things are changed, it still tends to be pretty obvious that you plagiarize. It wastes a lot of my time, it wastes a lot of your time and energy, so just work through the assignment on your own so you can build that skill. Finally, we're going to discuss the rules in the classroom regarding coronavirus. So when you do get in the physical classroom in the building, you are expected to follow all of the school's rules regarding social distancing and masking. When you come into my classroom, you will immediately sit in your assigned seat. You can chat with people around you until the bell rings, but I don't want you standing in the corner of the room chatting. I know the issue of masks has become very politicized, and everyone has a right to their own opinion. However, I cannot change the rules that were set in place by the governing bodies and the school. So if you are unhappy or your parents are unhappy about the COVID regulations being too strong or loose, I would encourage you to contact your state and local representatives because they are the only ones who can do anything about it. As for me, I am following the rules that have been set out for us. You will be wearing a mask and we will be practicing social distancing if you are not. So for example, I'm not wearing a mask right now. I'm in my classroom. There is no one here. I am farther than 6 feet away from any student desks. So I'm trying to abide by that policy. If I leave and go out in the hallway, I have my mask on today. So please follow that policy. I have to follow it. You have to follow it. Because of this policy, nobody in my classroom will be eating or drinking. Okay, so now that some of that tough stuff is out of the way, let's talk about class. Plans for the day in my class are posted to Canvas announcements. There are links to activities and resources we'll be using throughout our school day, and announcements are just a great place to start. We'll be doing digital attendance via some sort of check-in every day, and that will be linked in the announcement. Sometimes this will be something academic, other times it's going to be something that's just sort of a fun question with no wrong answer. Just make sure you're doing that every day so I can mark you present for attendance. We will be using a few platforms outside of Canvas, including Edpuzzle, Google Docs, and Kami, as well as Google Hangouts. You should be pretty familiar with Canvas if you've been at LaVille, but I'll have some resources linked under that guides and tutorials module to help you troubleshoot. If it's anything tech related, again, can't access a website beyond just don't know how to use it, please contact tech because I can't see what's happening in your Chromebook, but they can. Also, another suggestion I would give you regarding Google Docs is make sure you give your Google Docs the name of the assignment so you can find them more easily. One of my students once could not find a doc for the life of him. He's looking and looking through it, and he eventually did find it, but it would have been a lot easier to find if the name of the document wasn't, and I quote, here comes the Kool-Aid man. So keep the name simple. It's just easier on both of us. Ultimately, I want you to leave this class with the ability to communicate clearly with others and to identify what others are trying to communicate to you. I want you to be able to use literary devices to help get your point across. Even if this isn't your favorite subject, we all have a good story, and you'll get to experience a lot of them over the course of the school year. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions you have about my policies. I look forward to learning about you and having the best year we can, given the circumstances.